In this video, we are going to learn about various components of attitudes. Attitude is considered to be a judgmental feeling about an object, a person, or an event. When it comes to components of attitudes, we need to understand attitude as an acquired combination of thoughts, feelings, and behavior towards a particular object, person, thing, or event. In that sense, we can say that attitudes can be positive, negative, or neutral. As listed here, in an attitude which is predominantly a feeling, there are three components: cognitive component, affective component, and behavioral component. Now, let us see the cognitive component of attitude. Here, cognitive, the word cognitive has come from cognition, which means knowledge. In other words, we develop attitude towards others or objects or events after obtaining certain knowledge about them. Suppose, for example, our knowledge about Mahatma Gandhiji made us develop a positive attitude towards him. Now, let us see an example by which we can understand cognitive component of attitude. Here in the picture, you can see a tiger with the bones and skull of human beings. It means that a person who is having this kind of knowledge about tigers, that means he understands that a tiger is capable of eating away a human being, then this kind of knowledge will influence his overall attitude towards the tigers. So, as managers, we are supposed to obtain complete knowledge about a person or an object or any event. Only after obtaining complete knowledge, we need to develop the attitude. Otherwise, with partial knowledge about an object or a person, we may tend to develop incorrect attitudes. So, after having seen the cognitive component of attitudes, let us consider the second component of an attitude, that is, affective component of attitude. The affective component of attitude refers to the emotional reactions or feelings that an individual has towards an object, person, or an event. It involves feelings or emotional responses like liking, disliking, love, hate, fear, anger, joy, etc. It is essentially the emotional aspect of an attitude that can influence an individual's behavior. That means what kind of emotion we maintain towards an object or a person will influence our attitude. For example, our attitudes towards our relatives, friends usually have a stronger affective component because we have strong emotions towards them. But whereas our emotions towards our neighbors or less known people may not be that strong. So affective component may be very weak in case of our attitude towards our neighbors and less known people. Now let us see an example. In this example, what we see is the person is having a negative feeling of fear towards tigers. This example is a continuation of earlier example where we have seen that the person has an understanding of tigers, that kind of understanding where he thinks that tiger can eat away a human being. So that kind of understanding makes the person develop a negative feeling, negative emotion towards the tiger in the form of fear. So in the picture, it is shown as I'm scared of tigers. Why he is scared of tigers? Because that kind of understanding he has about the tigers making him develop a negative feeling. Now let us see the last component of attitudes, that is behavioral component. The behavioral component of attitude is the observable part of an attitude, reflecting how we act based on our beliefs and feelings towards the object, person, or event. In a way, we can say that behavioral component is the action part. Suppose, for example, if you look at the picture given side by, the person is shown as being run away, trying to run away from the tiger. So that means our attitude will have an action part which will be displayed in the form of our behavior. Because you have a negative understanding about tiger and you have a negative emotion like fear towards the tiger, whenever you come across a tiger in front of you really, then the behavioral component is exhibited in the form of running away from the tiger. Now what we need to understand is these three components, that is cognitive component, affective component, and behavioral component of attitudes, they may be with different intensities in the same object, in the same attitude. So our attitude towards our parents may have a strong affective component, a strong behavioral component, and a strong cognitive component. But our attitude towards our neighbor or towards our colleague in office may have less intensified affective component, behavioral component, cognitive component. So what we need to understand is the degree of understanding what we have and the emotional bondage what we have towards the people will make us develop these three components, which are part and parcel of an attitude. Now let us sum up what we have learned so far. So let me take you to the initial slide where I have shown all the three components. The three components are affective component, emotional component, and behavioral component. The affective component develops because of our emotional bondage towards the person. The cognitive component develops based on the understanding what we have on the person or the object. And the behavioral component is the observable part that comes out into open, observed by everyone because of our cognitive component and emotional component. Thank you.